Students are strap up in a price. You I want to go on from campus. Young people are going on from campus. Come on, tell me what one. Campus connection, yeah, that's a one. Now, walk on from campus. How we are carrying on from campus. Come on, tell me what one. Campus connection, yeah, that's a one. Hey, some make us again, listen, let me tell you this. Students, I will make we do this. Oh yes, we create this space just for you. Make we talk about you, make we talk about school, government and politics, sports, academics, anything that concern you. I don't know when love pass through. It's all about the gospel. So tell me what one from campus. Youths are going on from campus. Come on, tell me what one. Campus connection, yeah, that's a one. Hey, I walk one from campus. And we are carrying on from campus. Come on, tell me what one. I walk one. Hey, walk one. Everybody want to.
Wow. Hello there.
Greetings. Hello, everyone. Welcome to yet another episode of Campus Connection. It's so good to have each and every one of you here with us this evening. We're so happy after the little break that we had, Anesta. It's happy to be
Labor Day.
back. Yeah, Labor Day, it's happy to be back. I am Jonathan Fletcher, and with me is my co-host,
Anesta Samuels, and we will be here with you up until 6:30. So on this show, we're talking about fostering children. That's our topic for today. And you know the drill. Well, I hope you know the drill by now. Go ahead and like the video, share the video. If you haven't hopped on over to the live, what are you doing? What you doing? Get over on the live stream. We're live on YouTube, we're live on Facebook, and we want to see that comment section going. So we love hearing from you guys. We love that interaction. So please hop over, if it's even to say good evening. You know?
We love it. We love the manners. We absolutely enjoy it. Not going to lie. But yes, we are talking about fostering children, the foster care system, the ins and outs. We want to know what that is all about this evening here on the show. So it promises to be a very interesting show, and I sincerely hope that you will stick and stay with us throughout the show. We have education news and bulletin coming up. We have a special interview with Dr. Hope Main, Associate Professor from UTech Jamaica, and she'll be sharing on the Jamaican Home Economics Association annual general meeting. We have I Chose Christ. We have, of course, our main segment with the director of For the Child Foster Care Program, and that is Mrs. Karen Fraser Williams. And she'll be talking to us, as we said earlier, about fostering children. We also have a special surprise giveaway. I'm not going to tell you about it right now. You have to stick and stay to find out about what is going on. But, Anesta, let me ask you, how was your Labor Day? How did you spend your Labor Day?
My Labor Day was spent working. Okay, it was
Love
spent
that.
doing labor.
That is on brand. That is very on brand. That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
I'm trying to remember what I did on Labor Day. I know it had something to do with work though. I just
Yeah,
don't.
I
I just
mean,
don't remember. Because you see, all right. I don't know if you have the same experience, but I was thinking recently that boy, we used to have a lot of holidays as children. Like
yes,
every other month,
yes,
we just at home chilling.
yes.
Like I'm just like. Would I love a little midterm?
We're
Not to
full
lie.
on adulting now.
Yeah,
See, we're
like
full on adulting.
I would love a midterm break. I'm just saying, I'd love a proper Christmas break. I remember Christmas time, you're off for like 2 weeks, 3 weeks,
Right.
thereabout.
You can't afford to do that, literally.
Campus sites. Long story short, enjoy the time
Enjoy it while
while
you know.
while it lasts. All right, so we're just going straight into education news and bulletin right about now. And that will be read by Orain Mattis, sixth form student at St. Catherine High.
All right, thank you. Education news for May 30th here inside Campus Connection. Diane Gordon Harrison, children's advocate, is encouraging children in need of mental health support to make use of the Safe Spot helpline at 888-723-3776. Safe Spot is a dedicated toll-free line that is available 24 hours daily, 7 days per week, and is staffed by intake officers, counselors, and counseling psychologists. It provides counseling to children and teenagers who require mental, emotional, and social well being assistance. She is also pleading with citizens to speak to children about Safe Spot so that they know that the line of support is available to them. An upset teenager set a dormitory blaze, killing 19 children in Guyana after a cell phone has been taken away. According to officials, the fire broke out at the Mahadia Secondary School in the South American country late last Sunday. It is alleged that the phone was confiscated by the dorm mother and the teacher after being disciplined for having an liaison with an older man. Mark Ramator, Guyana Police Communication Chief, stated that the building's windows were heavily barred and 5 doors were locked. It is reported that the girl had admitted to setting the fire. A Minister of Education, Favour Williams, noted that she is expecting a shortage of educators in the next school year, especially for maths and science classes. She added that the government is exploring ways in which to remedy the situation. Williams explained that one way to fix the issue rather is to improve technology integration in the classroom. Notwithstanding the migration of teachers disillusioned by marged salaries, under-resourced facilities, and increasingly challenging students. The minister is hoping more Jamaicans will choose teaching as a career. The government is considering the option of funding schools based on the unique needs of each institution, instead of the number of students enrolled. A Minister of Education, Favour Williams, stated that cons- there has long been concern that the current approach of allocating funds rather on a per student basis puts some schools at a disadvantage since the challenges they face are greater than those other schools may experience. The minister did not give a specific timeline towards a final decision. However, she stressed that the change will be costly. Finally, the Hart Trust NTA will be giving away tertiary scholarship for technical vocational education and training TVET programs to be eligible. You must be full-time or part-time first-year student to an accredited institution. The scholarship value is 600,000 Jamaican dollars and will only pay tuition fees. Application forms must be submitted at TVET scholarships at heart-nta.org. The deadline is June 12, 2023. And that's all we have for education news here inside Campus Connection. I am Orin Matis.
All right. Thank you so much, Orin. We appreciate your contribution through education news and bulletin.
Thank you.
And we do have a few bulletin items to remind you all of. And
Mm-hmm.
the first one is the ISCF camps that are coming up. Discipleship Camp Quest. Quest meaning questions you encounter seeking truth. This will be from August 12 to 17. And the cost is, if you pay now, it's 14,000. And if you pay after the month of May, which is tomorrow, then that would be 15,000. Location is the Moorlands campsite in Manchester. If you need any information on registration or any more details, you can go to ISCF camps at iscfja.com. All right. And I believe we have one more. The St. John's Road Church of God in Jamaica will be having their youth convention and rally under the theme Put on the Armor of God. And that will be on the 4th of June. And their theme is the sword of the spirit versus the shield of faith. That should be interesting. Convention begins at 9 a.m. and the rally, of course, begins at 6 p.m. And they have guest ministers. I'm seeing Kavan Allen, Alicia Taylor, Ryan Davis. It looks like it's a big thing I go on. So that's Johnson Penn District in Spanish Town, St. Catherine. Wow. All right.
All right. So now it's time for our special interview with Dr. Hope Main, Associate Professor at the UTech Jamaica. And she'll be sharing on the Jamaican Home Economics Association's annual general meeting. And it will be taking place tomorrow, Wednesday, May 31. And it has been in operation since 1942. Wow. Amazing. With the core values being enthusiasm, grace, nurturance, advocacy, generosity, empathy, and dedication. Dr. Main, thank you so much for making it Campus Connection. How are you?
I'm great. Thank you. And thank you
Wow.
for
Wonderful.
having me.
All right. So you
So
have, go ahead.
So, Dr. Min, you are associate professor at UTech, chair of the JHEA, and
Yeah.
second VP of the CAHE. And wow, so basically, it looks like your life and life's work is centered around home economics. So, tell us a little bit about what exactly is the mission of the Jamaica Home Economics Association.
Thank you for that. I like that you have said my life's work is around home economics, but it's also around home economics and education. So I'm going to twin them together.
Mm,
Okay.
When we talk about home economics, I know that you must have done some form of home economics in school. So, our
mm-hmm,
mission really is to improve the quality of life of individuals and families in Jamaica, but not only to improve the quality of life, but also to make sure that we allow the profession to grow. The home economics profession. So you don't just hear it about at high school, but in the future, what does home economics look like?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Right? So we have to make sure we encourage the continued professional development of the profession. Mhm.
powerful, powerful. And based on that, because as you said, we would have done some form of home economics in school. But what
Mhm.
is the real mission, if you will, of how do I frame this now? So we go to home economics classes, right? We do cooking, sometimes we sew,
Mhm.
sometimes we do what are you guys actually trying to achieve from a home economic standpoint as relates to the future generation?
I'm happy that you have that question. That was in a discussion that we had with the ministry the other day in terms of the teachers understanding the true or the purity of this
Mm-hmm.
technical profession. Of course, you know that the family is the fabric of the society, and we have to maintain the family. We have to manage the family. Within the family, you have the youth that we need to take care of. So we need to help people to understand how to manage their families and their lives. So I hear you talk about the cooking, and I hear you talk about the sewing. Home economics is not just about the cooking and
Mm-hmm.
the sewing. We solve problems within the family, right?
Wow.
So we take what we call a social justice
Mm-hmm.
agenda. We want to say we're a social justice advocate to make sure that all is well within family.
Okay.
Family and well-being. Mhm.
Wow, I believe my eyes are being opened even more to home economics education and what it's really about. Interestingly enough, I've just like Jonathan said, I've always thought it was more about just sewing and cooking and all these things, but it's so broad. So
It's very
what would you say? I know we're almost halfway through the year. What would you say is your mission or the goal of your organization for the rest of this year? What do you want to achieve?
Well, we want to make sure that we reimagine and rethink home economics in a different way.
Okay.
Our annual meeting that we're having tomorrow
Mm-hmm.
is going to be focusing on reimagining home economics. Your brand speaks volumes. And so we want to rethink it in a way where we not only look at it in a classroom space,
Mm-hmm.
but we must envision home economics on a broader level as impacting the society. And
Mm-hmm.
so our strategy is to educate persons.
Yes.
So within the field, we have subjects such as nutrition, food and nutrition, as you spoke about. So we
Mm-hmm.
have to make sure that persons are eating healthy, right? We have also fashion and designing. We have
Mm-hmm.
to also make sure that persons are understanding, how to groom themselves, or, what clothing they wear, what goes with what. We have home management, how to manage the home. So, and a bigger part of that is really understanding what are the problems that we can solve within the society, or
Mm-hmm.
knowledge of budgeting. How can we help people to budget and
Mm-hmm.
understand budgeting principles to navigate themselves within the family?
All right, all
Yeah.
right. Dr. Main, we have so many more questions for you, but we
Mhm.
have to pause right here
Oh,
and come back after these messages.
Rise with the sun and face the day with some Lasco instant chocolate. Pull a pack, stir it up. Hot or cold, enjoy the chocolatey goodness any time of the day and unleash instant smiles, instant happiness.
Here's why you can't afford to miss the Morning Watch.
I love listening to the Morning Watch because topics are discussed and issues are highlighted that are of major importance, which in turn edify me.
The Morning Watch, Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays.
I like listening to the Morning Watch. I find it very informative. I find it very interesting. The topics that are covered are very, very wide.
The Morning Watch, thought-provoking, insightful, current. Listen for the probing questions with attorney at law Stokely Marshall and the in-depth discussion with Reverend Dr. Dylan Toussaint. On Thursdays, the Morning Watch is brought to you by Educom Cooperative Credit Union, providing value through service, and Bashco, the store that peeps you more. The Morning Watch, Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays. The Morning Watch is on the family station Love 101.
Where are the campus nights? Students are stuck up in a price.
All right,
All right.
welcome back to Campus Connection. If you're just joining us, we're having a very interesting discussion with Dr. Hope Main. She's an associate professor at UTech Jamaica, and she is the chair of the Jamaica Home Economics Association. And I mean, she's also the second VP of the Caribbean Association of Home Economists. Did I say that right? Okay. I want to make sure I get all the accolades right, because but you have been opening our eyes to home economics in and just all that it entails. Share a little bit with us about tomorrow's event, the time, the venue, and what
mhm.
persons can expect to learn from that event.
Definitely. Thank you so much. Tomorrow we are having the annual general meeting. Now, this is where we have all the teachers in the home economics field gathering in one space to have a discussion around reimagining home economics. Your brand speaks volumes. We are going to be having a speaker speaking to that theme, and that is Mrs. Joan Davis Williams. You might know Joan Davis Williams from Arden. It's one of those speakers that's very
Absolutely.
advanced. So
Absolutely.
to keep
Oh,
someone
here we go.
and she has been in the field for a long time, a great motivator. And so I would expect that persons will have a grand time listening to her. We also have another presenter, Mrs. Grayson Brown York. She's going to talk about integrating science and home economics, smart chefs. So again, as I say to you, don't just think of home economics as just the cooking and the cleaning. There
Mhm.
is a science behind what we do. And so she's going to now talk about integrating science and home economics. So if you're preparing a meal, what's the science behind it? You're not just going to put on the pot on the fire, but you need to understand the scientific principles, the technological principles, the mathematical principles, and so on behind that. Yes, fascinating.
Wow.
That's how students are learning in high school nowadays. It's no longer teacher centered, but the idea is to connect the science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. Now, the event is tomorrow, May 31st, and it's going to start at 8:30 a.m. on UTech campus in LT9, Lecture Theatre 9. I know some persons might say, I don't know where LT9 is, but just come on campus. You'll get directions to LT9. All right?
Awesome. Thank you so much for taking the time out to share with us on this event and about what home economics is in general. Thank you for being here with us, Dr. Main.
You're welcome.
All right, Doc. All the very best for tomorrow and beyond.
Thank you.
All right, all right, all right. That is absolutely powerful. Dr. Hope Mean, Associate Professor, UTech Jamaica. And she, shed some light on home economics in general, but she, you know, made us aware of the annual general meeting that's taking place tomorrow for the Jamaican Home Economics Association. All right. Yep. You saw things during home ec class?
I did. I did.
Wow.
You know, I learned about the different types of stitches. You know, you have
Yes.
the yeah. You remember that lesson? Yes,
Yes.
yes,
Yes.
yes.
Yes. Yes. Yes. Absolutely.
And
Absolutely.
then there's the cookie. That those are the two main things that stood out to me. But now that we were
No,
hearing from her,
because
I'm realizing, yeah, we did
yes.
learn a lot about family life and stuff like that.
Yes. But the only thing I remember is about the cooking and the sewing. I do remember. Is
Yeah,
when she was talking, I was like, wait,
yeah, that was
yes, we
is
did learn
like
about
the family
budgeting and
part
stuff.
never stick, but the food part,
Of course, of course.
the
That
food
goes
part
without
stick.
question. And speaking about family, we have, as we said earlier, a special, very special conversation coming up later on about fostering children, and we want you to stick around for that. But
Yes.
before that, we have Frederica Ingram, fourth year student at the University of Technology, pursuing a BSc in Occupational Health and Safety and Environmental Management with I Chose Christ, You Should Too.
Hi everyone, my name is Frederica, and first and foremost, I just want to say I'm extremely excited to be able to share my story with you. So basically, what happened for me, I mean, this isn't the only situation that I've gone through, but I experienced a loss in 2020, and it basically uprooted my way of life and the plans that I had in place. The majority of it was surrounded by this person, and when they were basically removed from my life, everything just fell before me. And one of the major things would have been my living situation. I was all over the place. Felt like I really didn't have anywhere to go, anywhere to stay, and wherever I was, for some reason or another, I ended up having to leave within a month, within 3 months to 6 months, thereabouts. But the good thing about it is that, you know, for every time, for every season that I had to move, there was always somewhere for me to go. Someone would have always offered, someone would have always, just shown up in the midst of it all and just say, hey, here what, you come and stay with me. And I believe that that was the Lord working through these persons just to accommodate me. I had the opportunity to experience different job opportunities, internships, and all of which would have aided in my financial situation would have resulted from that. And so, from this situation, I was able to learn that, God is with me. I just need to take baby steps and trust in the Lord. And that is why I chose Christ, and you should too.
Wow. Wow. Absolutely powerful.
Our God is so kind
These
and
testimonies
merciful.
always, always. They
I love
just
that.
bless me. I don't know. I don't
Yeah,
know.
yeah, yeah.
Powerful. Absolutely powerful. I'm so encouraged whenever I hear of how God can literally turn a bad situation around. Thank
Mm.
you. Thank you so much for sharing that with us, Frederica, fourth year student at the University of Technology, Jamaica. And of course, we love to hear from you during our I Chose Christ um, feature. So if you want to share your testimony, if you're a student and you want to share your testimony, feel free to hit us up. Send us a WhatsApp message at 876-997-3125. That is 876-997-3125. And let us, connect in that way. As the more we share about the goodness of Jesus, the more other persons will hear and want to, know about this man Jesus.
Yes, love
Yeah.
it. And we are gearing up to have our discussion now on fostering children. I'm excited about this. And it's so good to know that we have persons out there who are willing to be foster parents, willing to
Mm-hmm.
take children into their home, give them the love and attention that they need, and we will be talking with a couple, Mr. Jermaine and Claudia Williams, who are foster care parents. But we'll also be talking with Mrs. Karen Fraser Williams, the director of For the Child foster care program. And welcome, welcome to the show,
Thank
ladies
you.
and
Hi.
gentlemen.
Hi,
Jeremy
Jamaica.
and Claudia, your mic is muted. Yeah. Yes, welcome, welcome, welcome to the show.
Thank
We are
you. Thanks
Thank
for
you.
so
having
Thank
us.
you.
we are so happy that you are here to talk about what I believe is a very important conversation. There are a lot of children out there who are in need of this kind of love and care. And there are a lot of persons, I believe, who may be listening who would want to foster a child, but they just don't have the information
Mhm.
to or the know-how as relates to actually getting it done. So let's get straight into it. Um, Based on your position, Mrs. Fraser Williams, what's the difference between foster care or fostering a child and adopting a child?
Okay, thank you very much. Good evening again, everyone.
Good evening.
Thank you very much for that question. It's a question that is often asked by many persons. So, again, to clarify, fostering is a temporary arrangement, and the thing about it is that temporary arrangement can be anywhere from 2 to adulthood. What happens is that it depends on the situation with the biological parents, whether they how available they are, whether they are interested in having the child returned to them, and also whether their position or their status has changed. Are they in a better position to care for the child? And that would really be assessed by CPFSA to determine that status. For the adoption, however, it is more permanent. It's a longer process, and what happens is that the biological parent or parents would now give up their rights to have the child. So, for example, Jonathan, you and Esther, you might be a couple, and you decided that you want to adopt a child, and you go through the CPFSA. They identify the child that is least of whose parents are least able to care for their children and would be willing to give up that child. Sometimes
Mhm.
it's a child who has been abandoned, but it
Mhm.
has to go through the court system, and hence why it takes so long, and they have to do some search in the community and all kinds of processes that the court requires.
Mhm.
However, when that process is complete, the child now becomes a permanent member of the adoptive family. So now, what would happen is that you could now change the child's surname to your surname. So nobody would know unless you tell them that you adopted this child.
All right, hold that point, Mrs. Fraser Williams. A lot more we want to investigate, but we have to take a break. So stick and stay with us after these messages here inside Campus Connection.
Campus connection, another one. I want one from campus. And we are coming down from campus. Come on, let me walk one. I want one.
How can you save? Saving can seem like a dream for many at the best of times. But here are a few ways you can kick off your saving journey. 1. Open a savings account at a regulated financial institution. 2. Develop a budget. 3. Track your spending.
This financial literacy tip was brought to you by Bank of Jamaica, building an inclusive economy.
Do you have a heart condition? Your care should be in the hands of our experienced cardiovascular team at Partners Interventional Center of Jamaica. We're one of the leading heart centers for angiogram, stenting, pacemakers, EP studies, and ablation therapy. PICJ has the expertise and latest technology to treat all your heart needs. Call 876-995-7425 or email info@pic-jm.com for appointments. PICJ, your partners for life.
All right, welcome back to Campus Connection. If you are just joining us, we are speaking about fostering children, and our special, very, very special guest this evening, Mrs. Karen Fraser Williams, Director of the For the Child Foster Care Program, and Mr. Jermaine and Claudia Williams, Foster Care Parents. So yes, Mrs. Williams, before the break, you were explaining about the difference between fostering a child and adoption. I wanted to ask you a follow-up question based on what you were saying, though. So, I want to foster a child. Is it that I have to? So, because I know of persons who have children living with them, right? They just have somebody from country send up their child to live with them in town or whatever. Is that illegal? Is that kind of arrangement illegal?
Well, that's not for me to speak to, but our operation is actually with CPFSA, Child Protection and Family Services Agency. And we, as we all know, we are aware of that informal arrangement with the country and the town and that kind of stuff. But I couldn't speak to whether it is legal or illegal.
So is it frowned up? It's frowned upon then?
Not sure.
Not sure.
So. I don't think so either. I'm not sure.
Okay.
But what we do though, what we do is that we find the parents, right, who are willing, like Claudia and Jermaine, who are willing to foster a child. So we partner with, and I should step back a little bit, Family Life Ministries for the Child Foster Care Program, right? Partner with Child Protection and Family Services Agency, right? So we are part of their program. So we said, okay, we will help you to find the parents, because they also have a foster care program as well. We will help you to find the parents, and you will give us the children, right? So we went ahead and we found Jermaine and Claudia, and then they decided that they wanted a little boy, and the little boy should be that old, right? And they looked at the little boy, they fell in love with the little boy, and they said, okay, we're taking you home. And they have been living with Jermaine and Claudia for some time. So that's our responsibility. And in addition to that, we ensure we support the parents. We provide training for them. So they are expected to come. Um, they're expected to be part of the training that we do once per month,
Mm,
right? Provide counseling support as well.
mhm,
And we also provide a monthly stipend to assist them.
mm. I love the fact that you don't just throw them out there and tell them to swim in terms of somebody they're probably new at this, never been a foster parent before, and you actually provide them with that guidance that they need to function effectively. Now, Jermaine and Claudia, you have been foster parents for how long, and what has the experience been like?
Our son came to us last January 2022. So it's
Okay.
just over a year. Um, and I'll say it has been a mixed bag, like regular parenting. You
Mhm.
have your rewards and worries. It has been a journey, but it has mostly been rewarding. And we do have
Mhm.
a biological son.
Okay.
Um, right. So we do a biological son, and so I think mostly it has been rewarding. But the support that Family Life offers really helps us. You have workshops. You have a WhatsApp group. So you find that issues that you have are shared with other foster parents, and they give you
Mhm.
support.
So how is that dynamic working for you in terms of having a son of your own and then now having a foster child? Is it boy or girl with you? How is that dynamic working?
So two boys. Um, so our biological son, he's older.
Hmm.
And there is a age gap of about, what is it, 5 years?
Okay.
One
Five
is
to
9, one is
5 years,
4. Yeah.
right?
Okay.
So there are challenges with that. The sibling sort of thing when you have that
Right.
age gap, right? Um, but it's been good. Before we went the route of fostering, I mean, it's something that we had discussed,
Months in advance.
right, with our
Mm.
son,
Mhm.
and he was the one who kept asking for a sibling. So we
Oh.
said, let's try this. Would you be willing? How you feel about this? So we spoke to him about it. We prayed about it with him.
Mm.
Um, so it was that sort of approach. So it wasn't thrust upon him um, immediately, like out of the blue. So he was all a part of the process. So in that sense, he was welcoming and ready to take on the task.
Mhm.
Not to say that problems.
Right.
I'm second of 3 boys.
Mhm.
I know what is good with brothers, and that was an adventure with brothers.
Mhm.
And similarly with our sons, it's an adventure. But we took time to prepare him,
Mhm.
and so I thought he was mentally most prepared to welcome his foster brother.
That is so amazing because I'm identifying some qualities that I could just offhand say you guys sound like good candidates for fostering a child.
Thank you.
Um
Certainly. I will agree with that one.
Mrs. Fraser Williams, what are some of the prerequisites, if you may, for foster parents?
Certainly. Some of the prerequisites are they need to be between the ages of 25 and 65, right? They need to be earning some kind of income. They also we require that they be a Christian or unless have a Christian, or at least have a Christian background,
Mm.
and they would also be required to submit application forms, a police record, a medical record, and references. And because they really go through a rigorous screening process. And so those are some of the things that they will be required to do.
Mm.
But certainly, the other important thing, though, they must have a lot of love to give. The child, every child needs love, but I believe that the foster children needs extra love.
Mm-hmm.
For sure, for sure,
Yes, they do, because first of all, they have been abandoned, and that comes with its own
for sure,
issues.
for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Mrs. Fraser Williams, how did you find yourself in this space? Right? What led you to this area as a career, as a you know path?
Well, simply put, I would say it must be the leading of the Lord, because I wasn't even aware of this. But prior to that, though, I had studied, I did my master's in social work and counseling, and I decided that I wanted to move, transition into that field from my job as an administrator. And then I said to myself, whilst I'm waiting to see what really I would want to go in, because I didn't think I wanted to go into do straight counseling. I would just volunteer at Family Life, offer to volunteer at Family Life Ministries, and then see where we go from there. And so, in the offering to volunteer, then I got a call to say that, hey, they have this opening, because I had to also submit my resume for what I wanted as well. So they were privy to that information. So I got a call to say that they have this opening. Would I be interested? If I'm interested, I could go ahead and apply. So I did, and the rest is history. It's
Awesome.
really very rewarding.
Wow.
That's amazing. That is very amazing. Jermaine and Claudia, based
Mm.
on your experience thus far, because it's like a little bit over a year,
Yes.
Yes.
right? What are some of the benefits that you would have experienced as relates to fostering a child? Basically, not just from the child's perspective, but even from your perspectives as parents.
Hmm. You wanna
I
do-
don't know if I'd use the word benefit. What
Or
I'd
some of the
use,
things that you've learned, some of the,
right, 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 right.
yeah.
Just a chance,
And
a
even
chance.
benefits in the sense of how it would benefit the child.
Got you, got you,
Yeah.
got you. Well, one thing I've learned significantly is just how important environment is to a child. When we compare our
Mm.
son when he came to know, is radically different.
Mm.
Mm.
He had behavioral issues. Um, it's just radically different. So even though we know it kind of intellectually, we live that out. That environment plays a key role in just how a child is raised.
Mm.
So we started firsthand, so that was good for us. And just the idea, there's a chance of just being a part in a child, really being a part of just changing his trajectory and just loving him. That was just a huge benefit.
Wow.
yeah, just pretty much the same as Jermaine said. Um, and I think both of us come from families where it was three siblings. So when we were getting married, having one child was never the aim.
So we
That was
discussed before, right?
right. Um, so just having another person, individual, and it's you really have to be a learner of this child, and get to know them, and their own personality,
Mm-hmm.
and so on. And that has been interesting,
Mm-hmm.
just seeing him grow over the last year and getting to know his personality.
Mm.
When we met him initially, the persons at the home said, "Oh, he's a very quiet child," and so on. But in weeks of him coming to us, we
Not
realized
quite at
he's
all.
not quiet.
Right.
And I think sometimes, unfortunately, that's one of the things that happens with children in state care. They're not able to express and really become all of who they are, and it's suppressed because just the environment, even though they try and do the best as they can, but when you have so many children, or
It's difficult.
it is difficult, or just not that person to give them the individual attention,
Mhm.
the things, and encourage it in them. But as I said, when he came to us, we realized that this is a very outgoing child. He's
Mhm.
really an extrovert, and wherever we take him, people just fall in love with him.
Mhm.
And sometimes we have to watch him carefully because he's the type of child that will just go up to strangers and say hi. So, right. But it's just a family dynamic and how that has changed as well, from one child to two children.
Right. One benefit we didn't perceive is we didn't foresee is our oldest son was an only child up to age what,
Six,
8 or so.
Mm-hmm.
So
seven.
having somebody in his space, he had to learn to share, and it's not about
Right.
him,
Right.
and it's not about which TV he wants to watch. So just having him learn how to share his space was a
Mm-hmm.
big deal, which
So
we
what
didn't
is it like
perceive that.
now though?
Come
Because
again?
after living by yourself for such a long time,
Yes, yes, yes.
and then now
I'm still
having
quite
somebody else in
adjusting,
your
man.
space.
Please,
Yeah, man, regular
but
sibling thing.
right, but it's
Yeah.
nothing abnormal. It's regular brother first and
Yeah.
times.
1 minute them best friends, and
Next
the
minute,
next minute
you playing
them at
referee.
each other.
Stop, come. Regular. So it's part of the journey.
That is just awesome. I'm so impressed, if I can say that word, impressed by just how you have taken a child into your home that needed love, and I can just tell that you're providing that loving environment that would truly nurture this young boy. And I'm looking at our notes from our producer here, and we have about what 2,000 children who are in state care who need
Right,
this love and this nurturing. So
right.
Dr. I'm sorry, Mrs. Fraser Williams, can you share with us on what can persons do, who are maybe considering becoming foster parents but they don't know where to start, what to do next? How can they help to give these children a home?
How can they help? Well, first, they can either call us at 876-410-7704 to get further information, or they could visit our website at www.forthechildjamaica.com. To also, there's quite a bit of information online. When they call us, they could give us their email address as well, and we will forward them the relevant forms,
Mhm,
like the application form, the reference forms, the medical assessment form,
mhm,
and they could go ahead and complete those, request their police record. We can also assist them with that as well to some degree.
mhm,
Right. So pretty much that's what they where they would need to start. Of
mhm,
course, we would come and visit the home to ensure that the environment is safe,
mhm,
as you know, as how you said it is, but we have to ensure that for ourselves.
mhm,
Right. So then when we are satisfied with all of that, then we would do an assessment of the parents. They would come to our offices and we would assess them to ensure that they are fit and able to take care of a child.
mhm.
If we approve all of those, then we send their file down to CPFSA, who does another assessment. And then once that is approved, then they are ready to get the child that they would like.
Okay. And is there any sort of mentorship that's done before that application is even approved? Any sort of counseling or guidance that's given to help them to determine if, they might have the interest, but they're not quite sure. Is there any sort of guidance given there?
Yes, we do. We do speak with the parents because sometimes when we send out the forms to them, they delay a little bit. So we call to check in with them and say, where are you in the process? Are you having any challenges?
Mm-hmm.
And to see how best we could work that out. And sometimes in our interaction, we find that there is need for a deeper provision of information, or for us to work with them. Maybe they need to come in for counseling or something like that along in the process. And so, therefore, we also provide that as well where we deem necessary.
Hmm. Awesome. And I'm
Wow.
seeing here the Jonathan, are you seeing this? The
Yes.
donation?
Yes, I'm seeing it. I'm seeing it. I'm just and this is the 2021 President's Awardee, sorry. Um Tiffany Joy Smith along with the VM Foundation to give support to the for the child foster care program in Jamaica. So clearly, something good is happening
Yes,
Mm-hmm.
indeed.
with this
Yes.
organization. And I must pause right here to really commend you, Mrs. Fraser Williams, on the work that you have been doing and the work that you continue to do. I know
Yes.
that this must be a labor of love, even beyond your scope of work, your job description. I know this is a labor of love because
Mm-hmm.
it's something that is very much needed, not just in Jamaica, but the world at large. But you're doing your part in, you know, reducing the amount of children who do not have a safe space to
Mm-hmm.
live in. And even Jermaine and Claudia, for you to make the decision to jump from having your biological son and adding another member of your family to your home, I'm sure that take me through what was that process like the from the decision to the um application to the activation. What was that process like?
All right. The admin part of it took about three to 4 months roughly. The longest
Mm,
part was waiting on the police report, and this happened during COVID. So during COVID, when things were just slowed down. So after we submitted our form, our son was located, and we visited him in his home, in the home where he was staying, just
Mm-hmm.
to see how that would have gone. It went really really well, and
mm-hmm.
then we decided, yes, let's go. And then he came to us. That took about maybe about 4 months.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yeah. I don't know if you were asking in terms of our decision process to actually foster and how we got to that point.
Yeah, man. So
Um,
the whole thing.
journey. Okay.
What was that
right.
like? Yeah.
Well, for us, I think from even before we got married and we were getting to know each other and thing, and we're talking about children and so on. It was always on the table. We always said, it would be interesting to we would consider adopting one day, because there are so many children out there who don't have a stable family, and both of us are from very stable families. So, but we also work in
Youth ministry.
youth ministry, so we knew
Mm,
just some of the issues that are out there,
Mhm.
um, and so it was always on the table for us. So over time, we just got to the point where we said, we are wanting to grow the family. It's not happening one way. Let's try another way. So, and that's how we came. I mean, we did delay for a couple years, well, I think. And even when we started the process initially, we had the application forms, as Mrs. Fraser Williams says, sometimes she have a call and stuff. We had the applications form sitting for a little while before we actually started filling them out and so on. But from the point of filling out to the completing the process, it wasn't very long. And as Jermaine said, the longest part probably was the police report, getting the police reports.
Wow. I just want to thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for being on and sharing with us on your perspective on foster care in our nation. And just before we go, I would like to present, or we would like to present on behalf of Campus Connection, would like to present a special giveaway to our guests from the Country Delight Enterprise Limited. So, for those who don't know, Country Delight Enterprise Limited is a registered agro processing manufacturing entity with a brand known for producing easy to use indigenous Jamaican condiments and spices. They've been around for over 10 years. They're located at 8 Retirement Road in Kingston, and they distribute island wide to local supermarkets, food outlets. Please give them a call at 876-906-0909. But they are the sponsors for today's giveaway, which we would like to present to our guests to say it's our little way of saying thank you for the mark that you are making in our nation, in the lives of our children. So congrats to you and
thank
Thank
you,
thanks for
you.
thank
all
you,
that
thank
you
you.
do.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank you.
you.
Thank you, guys. Thank
I
you.
appreciate it.
Yes.
Yeah,
Thank you.
man, and keep doing everything that you are doing. And Mrs. Fraser Williams, thank you so much for making it Campus Connection as well. We really do, as I said earlier, appreciate the work that you're doing. And we're just excited to hear more about the great stuff that will be happening within your organization.
Right. Can I just make a little plug? Currently, we have 28 children, hoping to have 29.
Mm-hmm.
And this year, we are looking to at least have 20 parents to add to that so that
Mm.
we can increase our numbers and increase our support to the parents as well.
Mm-hmm.
So, we want persons to get on board, to call in, to complete the application form, to find out, to get all the information they need because we are just waiting. The children are waiting for loving homes. And if you see the transformation within like a couple months for some of these children, you'll be
Yes.
amazed.
Right.
And you'll be happy to give them that love.
Yes.
Wow. Thank you again
Awesome.
so much, and we wish you all the very best.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you.
Thank you, and thank you for having me.
All right, all right. Wow, 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 wow. I love this show, you know. I
Yeah.
love this show. I
Yes.
love this show. I
Yeah.
love that we get to talk to um so many different, you know, kinds of people on this show. It's amazing. It's really amazing.
Yes.
But time really flies when you're having fun.
Oh God.
That's
Is that
basically
your
the
closing line now? That's how you're going to do it.
I try out something new. Listeners, you can let me know how you feel about that.
Don't let
But
him know, please.
next week we'll be having Children and Technology Part 2. Right?
Mm-hmm.
So we started the conversation about AI and all of those things.
Right.
I believe it was probably 2 weeks ago
Mm-hmm.
thereabout. So we're having the part 2 of that discussion. And then on the 13th of June, we have Men in Education, the pre-Father's Day show. So you don't want to miss that.
Yes.
We want to thank our listeners and our viewers for taking the time out to be with us here
And a
inside Campus
special
Connection.
thank you to all the manageable people that came on
Yes,
our
we
live
say Uno,
stream.
and
We
we're glad
saw
for
you.
Uno. Yeah, that will big them up. June Brown, Janetta Thomas,
Yeah. Carol
Cara,
Booth,
yeah,
Galloway Kevin. I don't know if it's Kevin
yeah,
Galloway.
man. Big up all of Uno. Thank you so much. We really appreciate you sharing with us here inside Campus Connection, and to our hardworking team, producer Jermaine Johnson, Dr. Nadine Blair, programs manager, Timar Butler for technical support, and Latifa Reed for news support. We really do appreciate you.
Mm-hmm. Well, until next time, thank you for making it Campus Connection. We will see you next week, Tuesday at 5:30 p.m.